and just talk about, because I want to talk about some specific things that guitar players have asked about. I told some people that I was interviewing you for this.
Awesome. Thinking,
okay, what do some people want to know about some of this injury prevention? Let's go with right hand first. So my right hand technique, I have this kind of wide stroke. My hand goes super far up and super far down.
Mm-hmm.
So what I have is a lot of this huge swoop, and it's more of this full-on doorknob sort of twisting of things. So for me, I notice that a lot of my tension is more of
what we just talked about.
What we talked about with the tennis elbow thing, where it's kind of the forearm muscles. Like if I'm holding a mug, it's the muscles that are at the top meeting the elbow. Then there's another technique. And actually sometimes if I'm gripping my pick too tight, I'll feel it just underneath my wrist in my forearm, just kind of in the first part of my forearm.
And that's on the front side of the wrist that Cory's indicating right now.
Yep. So if I just lay the back of my hand on the table, what's facing up, that's sometimes where I'll feel that tension, and where you can see this, the tendon coming up in your forearm.
Those are the forearm flexor muscles.
Yep.
And to grip a pick like that with your wrist in slight flexion, you're engaging the forearm flexors.
Yeah.
And so the perfect technique is to try to play with a neutral wrist, right? Because then you're not pre-contracting those forearm flexors. So if your forearm flexors, or any muscle for that matter, is in pre-contraction, so it's contracted.
So my hand is like, if I have my hand straight up, if I lean my hand forward, bring my hand in a little bit, which is kind of what I do with my technique, which I know is not...
It's not optimal, but also it's how you're able to achieve all this crazy...
So it's like, it's not the perfect technique, but I find ways to make it not hurt, or ways to optimize, or just be aware of where tension is building up naturally and not enhance it.
Exactly. So for you, doing some cross-friction massage and self-massage on those specific tendons that you just indicated that are pre-contracted before you generate your motion on your guitar strum would be super beneficial for you.
So stretching before a practice session.
Actually, probably the most beneficial thing for you would be to do that self-massage stuff after you're doing all those... all your a show or a session, marathon session.
Yeah.
And that's because that's when you're causing all that micro injury to those muscles and to those tendons. Now you're able to heal up on your own, and you're a healthier dude than most.
Yeah.
But there's a limit. Everybody has a limit, right? So I think the key is making sure that you are not exceeding that limit on a daily basis. And so maintenance on those specific tendons is key and crucial. And on some level, you're engaging and using every muscle in your upper extremity.
Of course.
But there are some that you're doing more than others. And I think that forearm, the tendons in your forearm, the flexor tendons in your forearm are a perfect example because of the amount of power that you're using when you're engaging your thumb and your index finger to hold a pick.
Yeah.
On the flip side, when you were talking about your strumming technique, the amount of rotation that you specifically have at your elbow, your radius is the bone that's generating that movement, that motion. So basically the radius is one of the two bones in our forearm that whenever you're doing that doorknob motion, it's rotating over, it's the bone that's rotating doing that. So all the muscles that are connected to that radius that are generating that circular motion are the muscles that we need to give attention to you on, because of the amount of circumduction that you're doing when you're rotating your arm. And like I said, nobody is cookie cutter. So
exactly.
When I look at Cory play, it's completely like apples and oranges. It's completely different when I watch another guitarist play.